Some mornings being eaten alive by various fears. A nameless fear, or a fear of people, fear children, fear and anxiety. Feeling today like a balloon that seemed fully deflated, but still had a couple more breaths of air to go. I've never been good at deadlines, and it's getting worse, taken me so long to not answer an interview question of what my relationship to the ceaselessness of capitalism is, that I've missed the print deadline. I'm trying to figure a way out of this mess. I'm trying to work out if I should actually unpack and tidy the room, considering how soon we have to move house. Vaping in bed to the tune of Lady in Red. Mixing berry CBD with lemon tart nicotine vape liquid for the perfect Haribo hybrid. On the empty side of the bed. I realised that I go to sleep with another body made up of clothes, devices, bags, books, chargers, etc. taking up half the bed. Even with a minuscule single bed, I still manage to have half of it covered in jumpers, chargers, sketchbooks, towels, magazines. Maybe emulating the various cats and one dog that used to jostle for space on my bed in Athens. Maybe proof that I only seem to be able to access emotions through inanimate objects. Saying goodbye to my old laptop is triggering separation anxiety issues. Or when I'm feeling sad after packing up my old camcorder. Bright white moon burning at the point in the morning where I stop pretending the insomnia will pass and start recalling a childhood insomnia flashback. I used to wake up in the night to play with my Lego in the bathroom. My dad would find me when he got up for work. And now I had insomnia and just seen that in the night I decided to soak a big pack of chickpeas. Goddamn insomnia. 3 times already this week. And I need my beauty sleep. The bags under my eyes have inflated to the point of almost taking off without me. For the first time in my life, I get what people, i.e. therapists, mean when they ask, where do you feel it in your body? I always thought this was some kind of con, but now I see it is real. Instead of feeling, I'm feeding my depression with pretzels. While preparing for analysis by reading over my dreams, I'm determined to get a good grade here. But my Amazon history is just the most pathetic thing ever now. A sorry parade of emergency self-help books. Though I love to read a self-help book that starts its chapter on lies that are ruining your life with a quote from Lenin. People with money can go see a therapist, but people who are poorer have to read self-help books, according to Sheila Heti. I will point that out if anyone sees my hidden, since mainly digital collection of self-help titles, like, for example, When Energy Vampires Are People You Love. Anyway, Chris Krause's response is spot on. A self-help book can't really address a problem unless it's individualized, and healing is not a one-person job, says Joanna Hedva. One day I will definitely write my own self-help memoir. Maybe all memoirs sort of are. Coke addiction, rehab and crash and burn memoir to follow. Rereading stuff and thinking, too late. I really shouldn't write when I'm depressed. It sounds like hell. It would be good if you could include a disclaimer footnote to say, just because I wrote about you doesn't mean I still care. Though it's funny, all this time I thought I didn't care, when actually I just cared too much. And my hair seems to change depending on what sort of stress I'm under. Could this be a new product line idea? Anxiety frizz-free cream. But whenever you're depressed, just change your hair colour, said Cookie Mueller's mum. And it's always good to get a traumatic new hairdo before giving a public talk. Our tenancy was terminated while in Greece. Panic ensued, but I just met a guy on the island who has a caravan to rent in London. And this is pathetic. I'm still chasing up bloody Dex property guardians for our deposit 6 weeks after moving out, or actually being evicted. So I'm destined to get horrific housing-related news right before a holiday or huge deadline. Of course, everyone lives with some fundamental insecurity, according to Buddhism anyway. Maybe it's partly mitigated by having family down the road, or a partner, or a house, I don't know. But my position has become too expensive to maintain, and any time I get a sublet, My joy at saving on rent is shaded by my fear they'll find my million diaries, and thus the true extent of my emotional bankruptcy. And I don't know, the idea of a pay-as-you-live lifestyle sounds like a rebranding of precarity as aspirational. Then there's the irony of feeling panicky on a very delayed train because I'm going to get fined if I miss some stupid occupational health phone call assessing my anxiety and sleep disorder. What are health service discounts, and why are they advertised by smiling ladies with shopping bags? Is this some kind of harbinger of Brexit doom? Wealthy white wellness woman has privileged consumption of all things well and health covered. I am a coffee-addicted yoga teacher and media girl. In my spare time, I linger in organic food markets, sort my arty books by colour. Is this a joke? A parody of her formal self? Live quantum wellness, exactly what my life has been lacking. Finally got round to updating the phone, and a mysterious new app called Health has appeared. My timer app says I've meditated a total of 339 hours, 41 minutes. It's quite sobering to see life's activities measured in such precise time chunks. Now we can truly be a quantified self. Phew, I thought the day would never come. Technology hasn't sent us all plunging into the Matrix or some other nightmarish techno-dystopia. Speak for yourselves. Lol, what will they use neuroscience to sell next? An app that makes you stop drinking? Really? Just installed Freedom and this crappy white noise thing that has hangover cure as an in-app purchase. Consider me optimized. Though this binaural beats app is making me go a bit deaf in one ear. So much for the cell regeneration. Why would I want another app? Why indeed? Why would I want Judgment Day app? I bet someone is developing it as we speak. When the cloud transmutes the mechanism of death and presents it to us as life. Necropolitics in a Prehistory of the Cloud. By Tung Hue Hu. Oh dear, I fear I am already a source of fragments to be exploited by others. I've just realised all this time I've been living an algorithm. Take breaks or have a breakdown. Guru has spoken. But I need a break from life. The Art of Doing Nothing live stream. The use and misuse of daydreaming and fantasy. Trying to work out if going to yoga or art galleries counts as day-off activities. One is kind of self-improvement, the other kind of work. Relatedly, how to take up things that are good for you, yoga, not drinking too much, therapy, without turning it into a huge self-improvement project. A paradoxical quest for self-betterment that promises to deliver the self we really are. I.e., know thyself to improve thyself, and share your improvements afterwards. Between smug dragging about how meditation makes you into a neurally advanced being, promising all the usual guff about becoming a better leader and creative via mindfulness that Google staff have been drilled with. Oh, brilliant. With transformations, the customer is the product. The individual buyer of the transformation essentially says, change me. And here's a great name for a meditation retreat. Waking up everywhere. Makes me think more of passing out in random cabs, couches, clubs, canal paths. But okay, enlightenment, sure. The universal love stage of emerging from the Vipassana has come to an abrupt end, and I'm ready to recommence universal bile. I hope everyone appreciates how little I spout cod Buddhism. I'm trying to write about meditation without just ranting about why therapy, and especially psychoanalysis, doesn't immediately smack of self-helpy bad politics, whereas meditation seems to. But hey, I also remember reading that if you find yourself vehemently defending meditation and generally proselytizing, there's so many things to be glad about turning 40, e.g., that I no longer have to worry about growing out of it, whatever it is. Conversely, that I can abandon hope of there being some other supremely better version of me or life just around the corner if only I take up or quit XYZ. Though I wonder, when is my midlife crisis going to end? Feels like I hardly had a break from my quarter-life one. And it's wild to think that in my 20s I had a car, a cat, a steady flat in social housing, complete with steady shit relationship, not a coincidence, and a higher income than now. Adulthood, when you realise nobody's going to help you take care of things, or that people may care, but not in the way you need them to. It's been a while since I read a whole book plus notes, but Sarah Ahmed's Living a Feminist Life did it. So many thoughts on happiness scripts, and Ahmed's description of assumed happiness and the labour of having to be happy or make others happy is really spot on. Life as an exercise of holding off meltdowns in between burnouts and other nuclear-related hyperbole, back from the dead, burnout averted. It's definitely too soon to be downloading audiobooks on burnout, but here we are. I just got an email from a retreat centre headed Break Free from Burnout. Effective marketing right there. And what's worse, it's from an organisation calling itself the Mindfulness Exchange. Like you can just go and trade in your shitty self for a new one. Stress and exhaustion are not just personal experiences, but social and historical phenomena as well. Materials do not recover when rested. How to care for ourselves and others. A conversation about the ongoing labour of self-maintenance and survival. But neoliberalist subjectivity is about bringing a mentality of winning into every aspect of life. And I'm winning quantitatively, but he's winning qualitatively. I've data exhausted myself with 6 theses on anxiety and why it is effectively preventing militancy and one possible strategy for overcoming it. Today I'm thinking about caring within a system that emphasises personal responsibility while expanding the opportunities for marketisation and financialisation that are premised on precariousness and the perpetuation of unequal burdens on care work. I brought Radical Intimacy by Sophie K. Rosa for my spring reading, and it's already hitting so many points around mental health, therapy, and the importance of collectively seizing wellness as a common good. Because like all illnesses under capitalism, poverty and access to care will determine who lives and who dies. I listened to this yesterday, From the River to the Sea, with Noura Erakat and Tarek Bakoni. It's so informative on the history and future of the Palestinian struggle, and how media framing obscures Israeli apartheid and dispossession. I mean, the techno-military industrial lifestyle complex that looks as shit as ever. The main gist was, robots and machines just don't care, that's very efficient. Competitiveness and the blackmail exercised in the world by the hegemony of efficiency. The hypocrisy of organisations that continue to ask for loyalty without the reciprocal obligation of security and recognition of service. Casualised academics are becoming aware that without our labour the entire academic system would collapse. Sometimes means no. And I've got some kids coming to visit me at the studio to see what it is an artist does. Me and Juliet are wondering if we should tell them the truth. That's i.e. the truth is being broke and despairing most of the time, in between running around to meetings, getting rained on and sweating on my bike. But at least I got to take the piss out of career progression in my talk this morning. This is what you have to look forward to, kids. Acronym strings which can be summed up by the word excellence. I got the best comment ever on one of my YouTube videos. What have you done with your life and why? Well, today I have achieved multiple open Skyscanner tabs, a nap in the grass, and staring blankly at my mess of a desk. It's 5 p.m. in the studio and I've achieved 1 Freddo espresso and an extended gossip with a neighbour. In a supreme act of self-care, I finally unsubscribed from all the shitty estate agent newsletters I'm still getting, despite having never signed up for one. But packing the suitcase and preparing to burn some bridges, though things pour out unevenly, like when your Tupperware that's full of curry leaks. And thinking about archiving and taking care of one's work as a feminist practice. Not being soppy, but where does love and care go when it's gone? Like, does it just disperse into nothingness or go and collect in another place? When so much of life is missing people, that's the price of love. Cheesy thought of the day. The way to judge a life well lived is whether the people around you love you. For more often. And if I've ever said I miss you or I'll miss you, that's my way of doing it. And my hope right now is we can all find some love and acceptance for the messed up facts of ourselves and loves and laugh about it too. But maybe that can only happen when Commonwealth is the state of collective well-being. It is the optimization of well-being for all members of the community.